There's a certain kind of story that just gets right under your skin. It doesn't need any ghosts or monsters. Nope. All it needs is a locked door and the sound of someone on the other side. It is such a primal fear, one that taps directly into our deepest, most basic need for a safe place to call our own. I mean, think about it, right? That simple sound could be anything. It could be a friend stopping by, a package delivery. But at the wrong time of night, in the wrong context, it becomes a threat. It's the sound of the outside world trying to force its way in, and it feels like a direct challenge to the safety of your own home. So today, we're going to break down 3 absolutely harrowing and true stories of terror. But this isn't just about getting a good scare. We're here to really understand the anatomy of this specific fear, why it just burrows so deep inside all of us. Okay, our first story is all about a 12-year-old boy. And get this, he's home alone for the very first time in his quiet, totally safe-feeling little town. And what starts as, a perfect night of video games and pizza, well, it turns into something else entirely. Next, we're heading to a family's absolute dream home. We're talking a huge, custom-built house deep in the remote backcountry of North Idaho. It's surrounded by nothing but dense forest. I mean, it is the definition of secluded perfection, or so you'd think. And finally, our third case involves a group of 6 college friends. It's spring break, and they've rented a cheap, isolated cabin way out in South Carolina to just get away from it all. They think they're escaping stress, but oh man, they're walking right into an actual nightmare. So, you probably see the common thread here, right? It's the setting. Every single one of these stories kicks off in a place that is supposed to be a sanctuary. And this illusion of safety, well, that's the whole foundation of the terror. You have to build it up before you can just completely shatter it. At its core, this is what a home is meant to be. It's the one place on Earth where the walls are there to keep the bad stuff out. The horror in these stories comes from violating that fundamental promise. I mean, when your safe space is breached, where in the world are you supposed to go? And this is where it gets really chilling, looking at the gap between what they expected and what actually happened. A normal night playing video games, a quiet retirement in the woods, a week-long party with friends. It's that stark contrast that makes the terror that follows so jarring. Every single one of these stories has a turning point. It's that one single moment where the illusion of safety first starts to crack, and that deep, gut feeling of unease starts to creep in. And usually it's something small, something you might almost brush off. For the 12-year-old boy, this is it, a simple question from the pizza guy. Just 5 words. But they are so completely out of place, right? They instantly shift the whole vibe from normal to kind of predatory. It plants that first seed of fear because now the pizza guy knows the kid is vulnerable. In our second story, the first sign isn't a sound or a question, it's a sight. Through a basement window, a man is just standing there, and his expression isn't angry or threatening. No, it's something way more disturbing. This wide, unblinking, totally deranged smile. And boom, there it is, the immediate escalation. It's not just some creepy person anymore. The smile was unsettling, for sure. But the knife, that makes the threat real, and it makes it immediate. There's no more ambiguity. The danger is literally staring right back at him. And over at the cabin, the first sign is a sound in the dead of night. Tap, tap, tap. It's not a tree branch, it doesn't sound mechanical, and it's not random. It's a steady, deliberate sound. A human sound. The sound of someone's fingers on the window, demanding to be noticed. So, that first creepy moment, that's just the beginning. The real psychological terror comes from the escalation. The intruder doesn't just show up once and leave. No, they press the attack, and they turn that initial unease into full-blown panic. In that first story, just look at how fast things escalate. It is terrifying. In just over 3 hours, the situation goes from a weird question to an actual intruder inside the house. The doorbell, the fake plea for help, the banging. Every single step is a deliberate move to test the boundaries and ramp up the pressure. Now, the other 2 stories show a totally different kind of escalation, relentless stalking. This isn't just a one-time thing. It's a whole campaign of terror. The footprints prove the intruder has scoped out every single angle of the house. And the weeks of tapping, that shows a chilling patience, a promise that they are not going away. And all of this leads to the climax. The moment the psychological threat becomes a physical one. This is the ultimate violation, when that line between outside and inside is just completely erased. So what's the single most terrifying element in all of this? It's the breach of that one barrier that promises security. The back window sliding open, the back door found unlocked. It just proves that all our locks and walls are kind of an illusion. The threat isn't out there anymore. It's in here with you. Back in the first story, the intruder's path is just so methodical. He doesn't smash his way in. He gets in quietly, he searches the downstairs, he moves up the stairs, and he actually checks the other rooms before he finally gets to the locked door where the boy is hiding. It's just this chillingly calm, deliberate search. And wow, this quote from The Cabin Story, it just perfectly captures that moment of horrifying realization. They see the man again, but this time there's no glass between them. He found a way in, silently, without breaking a thing. He is just there. The rules have completely, totally changed. So what happens next? You know, in most stories, this is where the threat is stopped. The monster is defeated. But what makes these true accounts so deeply horrifying is that they don't really end. The terror just hangs there because there's no resolution. And this, right here, is where the true horror lives. Because in every single case, the intruder was never caught. The pizza guy was never confirmed. The man in the woods was never identified. The man in the cabin simply vanished, and so did the cabin's owner. And that lack of answers, it means the threat is, in a way, still out there. And really, that's the final takeaway. The lasting scar isn't just the memory of footsteps or a face in the window. It's the permanent destruction of feeling safe in your own home. It's the knowledge that a locked door isn't always enough, and that for no reason, with no warning, it could all happen again. It just leaves you with this one final, really unsettling thought. Right now, in your home, the place you think of as your sanctuary, how can you be absolutely 100% sure that the only footsteps you hear are your own?